All right, so I've been giving away a lot of these AI generated images as I've been practicing my prompting, and I get a lot of questions about the prompting. I don't think it's a challenge to write a prompt that says, give me a businesswoman in a blouse and slacks and shoes on a laptop, right? That's not hard, and the AI products are getting much better at giving you the imagery you want. What I find when we're working with these images for e-learning is there's two things that we need to think about. One is we generate the image and then we need to upscale it because most of the images are very low quality or low resolution images. So you need to upscale the image. I use a product called Gigapixel because I bought a one-time access to it for like $40. And I use that, and that's good enough for upscaling. There's probably some free upscaling tools on the market or inexpensive, like the Gigapixel one. So you want to upscale the image so you get a higher quality image. And then the other thing we need to do is we need to remove the background. And remove the background, I'm not a Photoshop pro. I use Photoshop, so I'm going to show you a couple of techniques that I use. You may be better at Photoshop and have an easier way to do it, but I'll just show you what I do and how I automate it because it makes it really fast for me when I get a lot of images. Um, so you need to upscale your image is the first thing, get a higher quality image, higher resolution, and then you need to remove the background. So like in this case, we would want to remove the green background. And we also want to crop the image so that it's as the bounding box for the image is as small as possible. We don't want this to be transparent and have this really wide transparent box because it can be problematic when you're working with multiple images on a screen. So when you're working in something like Photoshop, it's pretty easy automatically to do that. Photoshop will have a remove background feature, and that works pretty well most of the time. And they also have a select subject feature, and then you can select the subject and remove the background that way. I'm not going to show those, but those are two automatic ways. I find that it works like 95% well, but then there's that 5% you have to fix. So what I do is when I'm prompting images, and this is I think a key part in the prompting, is I try to prompt and get it to give me a chroma key background. So what I'll do if we come in here and select our colors here, we'll select a green. I try to select this really bright, vibrant green, right? And I'll ask the AI tool like this. This is the hex code. I'll say, create a background with this hex color, and it never does, or very rarely does. It'll always give me like a muted green because I think it creates a green that seems to work with the color scheming of your images. So I still like to keep it this green. So I'll show you what I do. But what you do want to do is prompt it to give you a solid green background and try to get that really vibrant green. If you don't, that's okay. Like you can see, I didn't get it here. So prompt it for solid background. A lot of times I'll say empty room, empty wall, solid background with this green color, because what you want to do is remove the green color. The reason you want to do the green color is like, let's say you have a person. I actually have one of these images here. Let's go to one of my free images here. I have this person here, I think. That's not it here. Maybe it's this one. Yeah, so this is actually a good example. So if I have this character here, you can see it's a white background. She's got this frizzy hair, which is kind of a cool character. But the white background, if I made this background, I try to remove the background, you could see the white there's not a line for her arm, so I can't just change the background because that's going to select her arm. And there's going to be places in here where the green, where if I change the background, the color is selected, not selected. So you'll have in between her hair strands, it'll be white. But if I had prompted this to have, like, say, a red background, then wherever her strands of hair are at, those would be red, and I can then use that color to change the color. So get a try to get a solid green background when you can do that, right? So that's a good example there. So we have our character here, and now what I want to do is I will still, even though this background is green, and I'm going to show you what I'm going to show you, and you could probably work with this green background, I still want to take a green that has nothing to do with this character. This green that the AI generated matches to the color scheming and the tone of this character. So sometimes when I go to pick the colors, that'll interfere. So I still try to use this really vibrant green. So the first thing I do is I'll fill the image with the green. So I got that vibrant green. I come to fill. I just fill it. It's only one click. Sometimes you'll have to fill in some spots, but for the most part, it's one click. And then what I want to do is I'm going to go to select. I'm going to select my color range. And then you can see here, I would click on the green, and that selects the color range. By default, it's not going to be inverted, but you select the green. You want to make sure it's, or here we go, or we select the green and make sure it's inverted, so you're actually getting the character. I always start at 100. If sometimes you'll do something and you can see the character, you may get some detail on the character. Right? I'm not seeing anything here, but sometimes you get detail on the character. You want to make it a really solid white, so you want to play around with the fuzziness, and it looks like 100 works fine or so, right? So then you hit OK. Now we can see the character selected, and then we're going to go to the bottom here. We're going to add a mask, and then it's just going to add a mask, and so it pulled that color out. So if there was color in her hair in between the hair strands and stuff, that would be pulled out as well. So then once that's done, then I go up to image, I go to trim, and then usually it will trim it. Sometimes it doesn't because there may be like a little bit of color in there, so you still have to maybe come in here and crop it. And then I just save it, and so it's done. So let me show you how I automate this. So let's revert this back to the original image. So when I automate it, I'm going to go up to Window, and you can use actions, and we can create an action that will do this. So let's go ahead and open up the actions window, and you can see this. I have an action already created. I'm going to delete that. And we're going to create a new action. I've created a folder called remove background. So we're going to create an action. So the first thing I want to do, I'm just going to fill this with green first, right? And then I'm going to now create an action. I'm going to record it. So click on that. You can title it green chroma, remove background, whatever you want to do. I'm going to hit record. Now it's going to record it. So first thing I want to do is go to select, color range, and we've already done all this, so it's selected the way we want to. Hit OK, and you can see it's selected. Now we're going to come and select our chroma key or our mask, and we did that. And then we're going to go to image, and we're going to go to trim, hit OK, and it trimmed it, and now we're done, and then stop. So now I have this action recorded. Now I can come in here. So what I do is I've got a number of images. Even though this is set at green and I can use this green, I still like to add the chroma key. So I just come in here and I click, and then you look for places like here where I mean to fill it with green. So I've got it chroma keyed. I make sure I select my action. I hit play. It's done. Go to the next image, select it, play. It's done. The next image, select it. Sometimes you might find places where you have to fill it with green. Hit play, and it's done. We'll go to the last one, select it, play, and it's done. So it's pretty quick to do that. Again, I'm not a Photoshop pro. There may be other ways to do this, but I find this really fast. And sometimes I generate, like I'll show you, I can generate these characters that I give away. Like I've got some characters I haven't processed yet, but if I click into that, I've got these characters, and then each character here, this is like 27 images. So I've got, within a given character pack, I might have a few hundred images. And so I can quickly go through these images that way. So again, if you're creating your own images, the first thing is do whatever prompt you do, but try to get that solid green color prompt, and try to get that very vibrant chroma key green. And you could type in chroma key green and try to get it to a prompt where it always gives that to you. I find it doesn't. It always seems to give me a green that works with the character's color scheming. And then come into, I use Photoshop, but what you'll want to do is figure out how to upscale your image so you get a higher quality image, and then you want to make the backgrounds transparent, and then I showed you the way I do it in Photoshop. Hopefully that helps you out if you're building your own characters for e-learning.